Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and we did have somebody ask for a game in the Tirpitz. And we are going to do our build and play on the German premium battleship at Tier 7. Actually, hadn't really played this a whole lot. Um, by the way, the black and the regular Tirpitz are all the same. Hadn't played this very much, but having looked at the stats, I'm going to kind of play how Bismarck plays, armor scheme wise. Pretty easy to hop into this thing and get going. So, with that being said, we are using Prince Heinrich with Colorado Pablo de Revel. Now, you could use whatever you're going to normally use on your your accuracy German battleships, whether it's von Hipper. You could use von Hipper. Whatever you choose to use. I'm just going with Prince Heinrich. We with the flammable cannoneer, gyrating drill bits, marksmanship, master mechanic, and fight fire with fire. Now, for Tirpitz herself, we are going to show you the modifications. We're taking aiming systems mod 1. Do not build into the secondaries. Uh, Propulsion mod 2. And concealment mod is always in the second, third slots, along with main battery mod 3, which you can upgrade if you choose to do. For your loadouts, right? You have a actual pretty decent heal. You have 3, but because we're taking Master Mechanic, we have 5. They're not bad. They're pretty decent for German heals. And for your last one, you can take a Catapult Fighter, Observation Seaplane, or Enhanced Secondary Targeting. That is 100% up to you. I obviously take the grouping. That's just for me. Survivability, 72,000 hit points. It doesn't have a lot of torpedo reduction, but outside of that, this thing is pretty tough, guys. Um, just kind of like Bismarck, as long as you don't get German battleship syndrome. And it is quite a good brawler. Um, Artillery. Some of the few guns from Germany I really, really like. These are 15-inch guns. You have 8 of them. They reload in 19.7 seconds. Uh, Decent range. Now this is a much more balanced ship than I feel like it gets credit from. A few reasons here. Uh, you could build it into secondaries if you want. I really wouldn't. I like to make sure I get at least 7 kilometers on base before I start. If a ship has 7 kilometers base secondaries, I'll generally build into them, right? At 6.3, you're not even get them out to 11 kilometers, even with max build. So not a whole lot of reason to do it. Do they still come in handy? Yes. But you're gonna be giving up your main guns on Tirpitz, and that's what the difference is between Tirpitz and Bismarck. Bismarck has more of the secondary range. Tirpitz has the main gun accuracy, and it is very accurate. In fact, I think it is a 1.9 sigma. Looking at it right now, so you're talking about Montana accuracy, right? That's pretty solid, and it checks out that way. Now, your HE looks like it's bad, and this is the thing with Germans. You know, this has the quarter HE pen that a lot of German ships have. So even though you have low damage, you're not going to shatter very much on it. And so when you need it, use it. Okay? Don't just stick to AP all the time, even though the AP is pretty darn good on this thing. When you need to switch, go ahead and switch, especially with a quarter HE, even though the damage number, the alpha damage number, doesn't look good at 4,400. You're going to pen a lot more things, especially with this ship being accurate and having a quick reload. AP damage at 12.8, pretty solid. This is one of my favorite. Just hopping into it a few times that I have, I really like this ship. this is a good counter to Bismarck. You know, you have this one that is more of a shooter, a brawler, kind of a general use thing where um, Bismarck is only, you know, because Bismarck's the same hull. Bismarck really can't snipe, right? Like you have to get up and close and with Bismarck. Torpedoes, yeah, have 6 of them. They're defensive torps, and they can come in very handy, and they will back people off. And like I said, this thing is a pretty good brawler if you want it to. 8 offenses, German, not much, especially for a battleship. So not a whole lot there. I will say at least with Tirpitz, a majority of his at 4.5, but it still ain't a lot. So not the greatest. Maximum speed 28 knots, pretty average turning circle and rudder for the tier. And concealment 13.3. It's a battleship. You're not going to sneak up on a dead moose in open water. Armor. It's got a fair amount of it. Now, keep in mind it is flat armor, and you will get chunks sometimes because of that. Also, you have this huge superstructure, that light green there. So you're going to eat a lot of pens, but you're not going to get Citadel a whole lot. And this is why. If we take off this really good, we'll take off this here as well. You see, you got a very nice belt, and also you have a turtleback. Now it's a half turtleback. I always call these half turtlebacks when the Citadel isn't angled as well, because you see the Citadel not angled, but it still does its job. It is pretty hard to Citadel this ship. Maybe Americans at range, but I mean, you can get away with being pretty dumb in this ship. The thing is you're going to eat a lot of regular full pens off of stuff into your superstructure, and you see how flat the belt is on the side. It's not angled at all, so you're going to eat quite a bit of damage that way. But again, super tanky for the most part. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we're on trap and we have an AFK destroyer. This is one thing that's been happening a lot to me lately. I've had some really nice games recently. But man, I've had a lot of AFK destroyers. It's like really tough. If you guys don't understand why that annoys me, whoever gets the first spotting generally is going to have a huge advantage because somebody's going to be caught off guard on the other team, and you can do quite a bit with that one shot when somebody's in an awkward position, right? We're not going to get that because we have a Benson that was AFK to start off with in this match, which is going to hurt a little bit. That being said, I'm spotted. Vanguard takes a shot here. Gets spotted as well. We're going to take a shot. I don't use my observation plane. I probably should have, to be honest with you. But you can see 5 of our 8 shells hit for 8,000. So not bad. These 15-inch guns are not too shabby. We're going to go ahead and actually use our spotter plane to get a little bit better grouping, and as you can see here, we're gonna hit 6 out of our 8, and actually hit a fair amount. Now this match is gonna showcase what to do and what not to do in this ship. Alright, this ship you can do sniping at range. As you can see, we've had some nice 10k salvos with it. Now to be fair, overpinning a Vanguard like that, you can see my frustration. Probably should have had a Citadel in there somewhere. But that you know, you can see we have some pretty good accuracy at range. We've consistently hit an average of 5 out of our 8 shells each time. Pretty solid accuracy. It is pretty accurate. Now we're going to get up a little bit closer and kind of showcase a little bit more of a brawling. Now, you want to be careful what you brawl against. What is German? The closer you get to stuff, the better off you're going to be without getting yourself in trouble as we finally get Helena to angle and we take a huge chunk. But you can see the accuracy of Tirpitz is much better than Bismarck. And honestly, better than in most German battleships, to be quite frank. And we're going to push on this Vanguard, right? We have all the advantages over Vanguard in a close-up brawl, right? We have torpedoes, we have, turtleback, everything that you want in a close-up brawl, you're going to have outside of maybe a sonar. And we even have some extended secondary, so we have that. You just have to be careful, right? We know there's a destroyer in front of us, so we're not sailing in a straight line. Remember that I said that. Alright, we know there's a destroyer here, and if you can see here for a second, we were radared, so we actually are guessing it's one of the Pan-Europeans, and we're going to go ahead and push him. Why are we doing that? Because they have really bad detection when they're built correctly. So we're going to go ahead and push up, see if we can't catch this guy off guard. Vanguard is moving forward. Not an ideal situation for him. Now, we're pushing up. We're in an okay position right now, but you got to be careful when you're pushing up, right? I have a guy to the right and to the left of me. Guy on the left of me has got fairly good guns. Guy on the right has torpedoes. So you have to be careful with that. As you can see, we get a chunk, and there is the destroyer spotted. You can see we're either going to have to choose between eating a whole set of torps or maybe getting chunked. And you're going to see here, we're going to go ahead and take the turn, miss the torps, and Vanguard's going to give us a pretty hefty chunk out of us there. But again, because that turtleback's saving us, where we probably would have died in a lot of other ships taking a turn like that. But we know we got it. We were good there. And you can see we're going to hit a couple shells on this split. And we are going to work on getting rid of the split if we can. Now, obviously, hitting a destroyer that is pointed directly away from you, not ideal, right? Not ideal. So, but you can see our accuracy is pretty solid. We're still hitting them, even with them trying to dodge and stuff like that. We're going to send another salvo off with HE, switch over to the HE because that's obviously the better option, and we do get a hit on him and a fire as well. Now he does go dark, and we do capture A. We've won our flank, and we're gonna have to rotate all the way to the other side here, guys, and make our way over. Now that was the way to push without getting yourself in trouble. Now I'm going to showcase how not to do it. And that's the one thing you got to be careful about in these German battleships. You have to understand when's a good time to get up close, and then realize when it's not a good time, right? What's left right now? 2 destroyers, a carrier, and a cruiser. Cruiser's far away, so that means I'm going to be dealing with a carrier, 2 destroyers. This is not smart, and I should have known it, but we figured the match was getting over. I know Split was weak. Tashkent really can't, it can be an open water gunboat, probably going to show himself, right? Well, this Tashkent isn't, and he's going to play into me, right? So Kaga gets spotted. We're going to go ahead and take the shot at Kaga. We got nothing else to shoot at anyway right now. And to be honest, probably should have threw torps in that smoke there. Forgot I had them. And that's one thing I did for ego. When you have 6-kilometer torps, sometimes you forget you have them. Probably should have sent them in there. As you can see, we dodged more torps, so we know that Split is out in front of us somewhere here. And we're going to actually go ahead and take down Kaga, or try to work on taking Kaga down. Split gets himself focused here, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll worry about Split here in a second. He's going to keep shooting his guns. And Kaga is going to... We're going to try to get rid of Kaga because I don't have the best AA before he gets away. And we do get rid of Kaga, but notice one thing here. This Split is going to get pretty lucky. I know he's at 9 kilometers, but he's going to get lucky. Between my bad aim and just getting unlucky here, you're going to see he's going to get away with stuff. And I have a ton of health right now, so I'm thinking I'm getting a little cocky. And that's what you got to not do in these German battleships. And I'm actually kind of glad this happened because it kind of put me back in my place again here. Right? Not even to worry about these Kaga Torps, right? He's dead. He can't really hurt us. I got another heal. Alright, we take the Kaga Torps. Alright. Not the end of the world. And we use our heal, right? Split manages to dodge us. And these couple salvos here, I'm sailing in a straight line like an idiot. With 2 destroyers here. Right? What do you think's going to happen? Exactly what should happen. And I'm going to eat a bunch of Torps from Tashkent. And I should have. Now, to be fair, I should have killed that Split and then turned away knowing that. And that was kind of the plan. But I got a little lackadaisical. And you cannot afford to do that in these German battleships when you're pushing in to kind of get the upper hand. You know, they're very, very good up close fighting, and this is no different with Tirpitz. The difference is you can snipe with Tirpitz if you need to. But as you can see, the end of the match, Tashkent runs and hides for the last, I don't know how long, to save his KD. But you can see here, a very solid game. We hunted destroyers, we got caps, with a 3,000 base XP game, a very solid game. And kind of a good showcase of what to do and not to do in Tirpitz. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time.